Hello, 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 everybody. It's your boy, Reserve Deck Nick, and welcome back to another episode of the Reserve Deck Podcast. I'm your host, obviously, Reserve Deck Nick. And this week I'm flying solo again, but I do have some pretty cool information to talk about this week. And actually, I think next week we're going to have a special guest, so I'll get into that a little bit later. But, anyways. Thanks again for everybody who watched the previous episode, and for who, if you guys watched my deck review for the Day 1 Gen Con winner for 2025. I'm going to do another one for 2026 when that happens, but I'm also going to do the Day 2 winner, which was Ragnar. So grab yourself a cup of tea if you don't already have one. For those who are watching, you can see my beautiful Sailor Moon cup, and for those who aren't, it's a beautiful Sailor Moon cup. Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. Okay, so first things first, we're going to do card of the week. So last week we did Valrakian. So this week we're going to go Woven. And we're just going to rip the first card that pops out on filter. Okay, Shelly. Let's see. Alright, so Shelly is a Crimson Shadow Clan unit. Unit, by the way. She is a 1 cost. She has 2 attack, no shield, and 2 health. And you can have 3 of her in your deck. You can also discard her for 1 shield. And her on play is Distraction. On play, discard 1 rage to rest target unit that costs 2 or less. That's actually pretty good, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I would say that's actually, I don't know why I've never seen anybody run this, but that's a really good way to force your opponent to rest something like a shadow so that you can attack it, or another taunt unit that you might want to get out of the way. I don't know. There's a lot. Or if you want to, let's say you know that your opponent's gonna be swinging with like a Lena, which is a 2 cost 4/4, and you want to get rid of that. I mean, Shelly for 1, you just drop her down, boom, rest that unit, take it out. That's pretty good. Shout out to Shelly. Let's see if there's any alternate arts for Shelly, because that's she's a beauty. There's a chibi art. There's a chibi art for her. So if you're watching, you can see how cute she is. She's holding a dog in the chibi. And if you're just listening, that's totally fine. She's holding a cute dog, and she herself also looks pretty good, because I'm so on chibi art. Matter of fact, let me just talk about that right now real quick. The chibi art for me was very hit or miss, and the owners of the company know that. They're super, like I've said before, they're super welcoming to feedback and anything that you good, bad, whatever. So some of the chibi art is hit or miss. This is a huge hit. Like I love this. It's not too much. And it's, like, in my opinion, a good amount of chibi. But some of the arts, and I won't show them just because, for people who are listening, but some of the chibi art it pretty distorted, or they just don't really look that good. They did my girl Volcania, like I'm a Volcania main. They did my girl Volcania so dirty, man. Her chibi art, it ain't it. So that's okay. All right, so card of the week was Shelly. What a great card. I can already see the use for that. Another thing I wanted to touch on real quick was my goal is to have a fair amount of guests on the show. It'd be great if I had like a co-host or something like that, but I'm not quite sure who'd be interested in that, because right now I'm not really recording these podcast episodes on a set day and then posting them on a set day. Well, I am posting them on Tuesdays, but for example, I'm not recording it on Monday night or something like that in preparation for Tuesday. They're just kind of when I have the free time. So if I do find somebody who loves the TCG as much as I do and they want to kind of get in on it semi-regularly, that'd be great. I'd probably say yes to that. So, doors open for anybody who wants to join the show. But like I was going to say, we have a special guest lined up for next week. It's gonna be one of the artists for the TCG. I won't say who. Don't want to spoil who, but I do have. I'm quite a big fan of some of their art, and so Hopefully that's going to be a great addition. You know, kind of like an interview. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create like a question sheet and then send it to the person in advance, and then we'll be able to talk about everything. Whew, that tea is hot. Anyway, there's a couple things I wanted to touch on here. I'm going to pull this up for anybody that can see, but new set coming out. Let's hide that. Is there a way I can hide this? No, that's okay. New set coming out, guys. A new convent emerges in Arakil. The world of Soul Masters TCG is about to grow wilder. It says we are excited to announce Convent? I think it's like convent, but it could be Covenant. But, you know, they literally just posted this today, so I'll get the pronunciation out of that. But basically, the newest set coming to Soul Masters TCG includes the ancient and mysterious Druidian, basically druids, into the world of Arakil. Leading the druids are two powerful new commanders, Nyrel Ashborn, guardian of the ancient groves and protector of nature's balance, and then Kalen, Runeweaver, master of primal runes and totemic energies, weaving the forces of nature into powerful magic. The Druidians possess a natural affinity for the wilds, commanding the arsenal of beasts, spirits, totems, magic, nature magic, and then ancient primal forces. But the Druidian arrival is only the beginning. Coven Ant. Does that sound right to you guys? I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but that's how I'm reading it. Whatever. We'll also introduce a wide range of new support cards, strategies, and synergies for many of your favorite existing commanders, opening up exciting new deck building possibilities across the game. Will you answer the call of the wild and join the druids? So highlights: new faction, 2 new commanders. Which, by the way, and I will say this, as I'm pretty privy, I'm pretty chill with the owners and stuff like that. I actually maybe have seen some spoilers here and there leading up to this, but I did not know that it was 2 new commanders. I did not know that. So that's actually really cool and really exciting, because we're still deck building and messing around with the 2 new commanders that we just got from Outer Lands, which was our Necromancer and Dragon Boy. So that's I'm really excited for that. 2 new commanders, new strategies and archetypes, support for existing commanders. That, to me, if I'm being honest with you, that to me is really important. When new sets for any TCG come out and they don't care about prior, champions. I don't mean that every single set has to support every single commander, because as time goes on, that's probably not as possible. But I think that it's important for them to prioritize making sure that if there was let's say there was like an unbalanced issue with a previous commander, they kind of put in a card or 2 to help the others kind of keep up with that, or vice versa. Let's say a previous commander was too weak, like for example, we all know that Lamia from Awakenings, the commander Lamia, was really weak and borderline. Saying unplayable is kind of harsh, but at the same time, it kind of was. Like she kind of was a little unplayable in the first set, and then when Outer Lands came out, they gave her a huge buff. Like she's super playable now. So I think that that's a huge win, and I really like when they do that with new sets coming out. So, and for example, like the newest set, Outer Lands, the one that just came out, they gave Ragnar an amazing new ability called Dueling, and I love it. I haven't gotten the chance to build it into my Ragnar deck yet, but when I was at Anime North judging, a guy who was playing Ragnar, he was able to put it into his... He had a deck from before that didn't have set 2 in it. He pulled a few of the dueling upgrades, and yeah, I don't know if I don't know how well he did, to be completely honest with you, but he told me he had a really good time with the new cards, with the new dueling mechanic, and so I think it's really cool when they do that. So shout out to them for supporting old commanders, and let's hope that they keep making Volcania strong, you know, because she's great, and keep making her great. So let's take a look at the promos here. I know for many of you who are just listening, I'll do my best to describe what we're kind of seeing here. But it looks like the new resource is called Runes, and just here at the bottom it says that if flipped, converts into a Callidere rune. So I'm assuming that you can take runes that you've generated and turn them into a more powerful rune. But again, this is speculation, so don't take my word for it. We're seeing here one of the cards for Neyrelle is called Stone Callidere, and by the looks of it, it's actually a spell, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. So for deck building purposes, this is a spell, but it has 3 attack, 5 health. So when you play it, it says KO target enemy unit that costs 4 or less, generate a rune, or flip a rune into a Callidere rune. And then Spirit Call 3. When the card is in discard and it is your turn, you may pay 3 Callidere runes, put this onto the battlefield as a spell/unit. If it leaves the battleground without being removed, instead tuck into the bottom of your deck. And it has taunt. What do we think that means? So let's just speculate this real quick. You pay 4 and then play it as a spell. So when you play it as a spell, you're just getting the spell effect, which is KO target unit that costs 4 or less, right? Then you discard it. And then when you have the ability to Spirit Call, it comes back as the unit and then can swing and then become a taunt unit. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. I guess we'll just have to find out. Here comes so Spirit Tree is a reserve battlefield that costs 2 reserve. In the reserve deck, it costs 2. Ongoing, it says your attacking spirits have +1 attack. The first spirit you cast each turn costs 1 less. And then as your commander evolves, draw 1 card, which means you actually get to draw 2 with this battleground. Because when you, as you know, when you get evoed, you generate a resource and you draw a card. So that's really cool. So you get to draw 2 basically. And then Spirit Ascension. If a beast entered under your control this turn, rest and convert a rune into a Callidere rune. Okay, so this is like a... Okay, interesting. So there's a lot of rune to Callidere kind of interactions going on. So now you guys can't see. Here we go. We can see Commander. Yeah, you can see. So Neyrelle Ashbourne. So she hits for 2. See, here's my thing. This is this picture, and I know if you're just listening, you're not going to be able to fully see, but this is an example of I don't really like the chibi version of her. I think I'm gonna like the regular version of her. Like her head is just too big. I don't know, and maybe that's just the way, you know, chibi version is supposed to be. I don't know. But I'm not really a fan. But anyways, Neyrelle's base. This is her base. So she hits for 2. She can shield for 1, and she has 10 health. She can have 6 resource, 6 cores, and so it says Beast Synergy ongoing. Neyrelle has +1 attack while attacking if you control a beast. Okay, that's good. So she gets for 3. Okay, here it says Spirit Rush 1. Once per round, when a unit you control with Spirit Call 1 enters, it gains haste this turn. Okay? And then once per round, pay a rune to heal 1. Okay, not bad. Here we have another Neyrelle Ashbourne ability. Cost 1. It's called Feral Succession. It says, cast only in Defender. Cost, sacrifice a beast you control. And put a beast that costs less than the sacrificed one from your discard pile onto the battleground resting. Generate a rune or flip a rune into a Callidere. So my guess is if you have a big unit that you know is going to die, you can sacrifice it, which would then end the attack, and then you could summon something cheaper in its place. So it's kind of a way to say, like, yeah, you killed my 5 cost, but I'm going to bring back a 4 cost, maybe? Again, we're speculating because we don't actually know the full extent of the cards, but that's just kind of, like, when I read these, I just kind of think, like, okay, that's what that means. And lastly, we have a spell for Kaylin Runeweaver. 1 cost spell called Earthbind. And it says, place on battleground, link this to target enemy unit. If it leaves, sacrifice this. Rest that unit if its attack is 2 or less. Generate a rune or flip into a Callidere. Ongoing, that unit gets -2 while attacking. On upkeep, sacrifice this card. Okay, so yeah, it's just a debuff basically. And then we have a nice, beautiful art card here. So that's pretty cool. We've got alternate art for commanders and illustration rares, things like that, things of that nature. Yeah, see, that's a cool base commander. So, okay. Anyways, let's get into the information about the set itself. So, it's going to have 163 cards. And it looks like 163 standard foil cards. So that means every card will have a foil variant. It's going to have 65 Faction Crest Surge foil cards and 40 alternate art Surge foil cards. 2 Celestial foil cards, 2 serialized Celestial cards. So my thing is that if they're introducing 2 new Celestials and the Celestials have 25 copies each, and 1 in every 2,400 boosters has a random serialized Celestial card, that means that there actually is a limit on how many first edition booster boxes they can print, right? Anyways, 6 commander alt art cards, 24. So 1 booster box contains 24 packs, 1 commander pack, and 1 alt art series pack. So you're getting 26 packs total, but 1 commander pack, which, if we're being honest, you only need, like, if you buy 1 booster box, you get guaranteed for each commander. You don't even need another one. You know what I mean? But I understand why they're doing it. It's actually a really good thing from what they didn't do in the first set, Awakenings. In Awakenings, it wasn't guaranteed where you would get each commander, so you either had to, like, trade with friends or buy them, or just rip boosters until you got every commander. Tea break. Sorry if that was loud. So, booster pack configuration. Each standard booster pack contains 8 cards, 2 random uncommon, 1 random common, 2 random rares, 1 random epic, 1 random legendary, and 1 random standard foil. The commander pack contains 7 cards. It has 1 random dual-sided resource card, 6 commander cards, 1 for each form, and then the art series booster pack contains 2 cards, 2 full art serialized cards, limited to 250 copies each. That's pretty cool. MSRP $90 USD. Now, I won't get in too much to the rarity of each one. Oh, I just realized you guys couldn't see exactly what I was talking about, but that's okay. I won't get in too much to the rarity because I don't understand it. But if you want to, I'll probably, join the Discord if you want to see it. But That's pretty cool. And I think that's it for that. So shout out to them for bringing in another expansion so soon. Oh wait, I didn't even tell you guys when that was coming out. It looks like available third quarter 2026. So that's coming pretty soon. Because what, we're in Q2 right now, right? Because we're June, January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, so we're Oh wow, we're actually in Q2 already. Oh, can you see the co-host? Can you see my temporary co-host, Kaiba? He's unhappy. I mean, he must hear a flicker of something outside. But anyways, moving on to the next topic. So overall, I think, well, first let's just finish up. Overall, I think that set 3 is going to be really cool. I wasn't really a fan of the Necromancer vibe, and I didn't really get to explore the Dragon Rider yet either. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited regardless. So, shout out to the team for hitting out another banger. I am excited for the Druids though. I do like the Druids. I think so far all the things I've seen around the art is really cool, and so yeah, I'm a big fan. So okay, just give me 1 minute. I will be right back. See, this would have been great if I had a co-host. You know what I mean? Co-host could have just started yapping for me while I was while I walked away. But anyways, next topic, and this is something I'm passionate about. What's the meta? What's the meta? Not what's the meta. What's the meta? What's strong? What's not? Now, I know that the first deck review I did on Satin, that was 2025 Gen Con, so this was last year, and day 2 was Ragnar. This is before set 2, okay? So that may have been what was strong in the past, but what I think is really strong right now is Volcania. And I know I'm saying this as a Volcania main, okay? Criticize me all you want. If you think your commander is stronger, I would love to hear why. But right now, I think it's Volcania. And I'll tell you why. Everybody is running the Celestials. And as you know, and I'll even show you, the Celestials have a unique ability that is frustrating, that basically gives them a get out of jail free card. So, once per game, on KO, resummon this unit. Okay, that's what Zark says. On to Xeric. Once per turn, once per game from discard, if you cast 3 or more spells or ability cards this turn, resummon this card. Okay, that's Xeric. Okashi. Once per game, main from discard, pay 3 resources, put this into your hand. On second KO, remove from game. So, the reason why I think Volcania is strong in the meta right now against these specifically, because everybody is running their Celestial, and then everybody is also looking for a way to, resummon it and keep it alive. There's a couple reasons. So, we know from set 1 that removal was very powerful. That's a no-brainer. Everybody knows that removal for every class was powerful, and it's still powerful. But here's the thing. Volcania has access to extra things that counter Celestials, and primarily a 2-cost spell called Low Blow. And what this does, it's a Volcania card. One enemy unit with a cost of 3 or less is flipped over till your next turn. So 2 of the Celestials are 2 and 3 cost, and then the last one is a 4 cost. Sorry, you can't do anything about that. So take this in. Volcania gets the standard removal that she has, which is things like Fireball, Inferno, Decapitation. So that's three abilities right off the bat that KO units costing 6, 4, or less, right? So that's 3 cards. Then she also gets Low Blow, which doesn't KO the unit, but for just 2 resource per turn, you could keep the unit flipped over for the opponent's entire turn. You can basically ignore it with this card. And then let's say you draw into the other card. Now you have removal. Now, with Volcania being such a unit base, like my Volcania deck is a unit based deck. And I know that it's just every deck has the same amount of units. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is that Volcania's units are cheap and easy to get out, and her abilities and spells are able to buff the units out even more. For example, Volcania has a 1-cost unit called Frederick. He's a 3/3. She also has a 1-cost ability that gives +2 to an attacking unit. So that is essentially a 2-cost 5 damage swing. Now, that kills a lot of stuff, okay? And there's also another card that I want to bring everybody's attention to here. It's a 5-cost unit. Knight Lieutenant Ezra. This is a one of, so you can only have one, but it's not unique to Athena. So it's a 5-cost that flips over a unit that costs 4 or less. So again, this is just another piece of kind of an answer to the Celestial game. So again, I just think that with all of these things in mind, and with the fact that now that Volcania has access to a battleground that gives her units a phase, you have the ability to completely nullify, negate, and take over the game, where somebody who may have spent their whole turn and pregame digging for that Celestial now has to, now what? Like, what can they do, right? There's barely any counterspell in this game unless you're playing against Athena. So you basically have full control of whether or not your opponent gets to utilize their Celestial. And so I think that one of the things that frustrated me when set 2 came out was that in my playgroup specifically, only one person had access to Celestials for the first month. So I had to force myself, okay, I need to find a way to deal with these Celestials so that even if I don't have one, I have a chance to succeed, right? Now, it doesn't work every game. Sometimes you get overrun. Sometimes the Celestial is able to stay up and, they go wider than me and stuff like that. But honestly, unless they draw their board wipe ability, their board wipe spell, I think I have a really good shot going forward with the state of my Volcania deck. I don't have it posted to the deck list thing, which I really should, because then people can look at my deck and say, hey, I think you shouldn't run this or you should run this. But even if I just count right now, so let's say I ran, because I'm not actually running Knight Lieutenant Ezra, that nulls that unit, but let's just pretend I ran every single thing I could to deal with Celestials. We'll count how much control I have. So Knight Lieutenant Ezra, that's 1. We have 3 low blows, so that's 4. Then we have ability and spell. See, I wish I could just advance filter to Volcania. All right. So, yep. So we have Fireball, which can KO a unit costing 2 or less. We can have 3 of those. So that's now 7 removals. Inferno KOs a unit costing 4 or less. So that takes everything. I can have 2 of those. So that's now 9. Low Blow, that controls 3. That's now 12. We then have Decapitator. We can only have one of those, but that takes care of everything. That's 13. And then we also have Lava Fields, which is another one of, but it's a board wipe, and it can KO everything costing 4 or less. That's now 14. Shall we continue? These are all Athena, 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 Athena. Yeah, okay, that's it. So that is all the board clear and control that we have. So that is 14 spells or abilities that deal with the Celestials, and a unit, and 1 unit. So that's 13. 13 spells and abilities in 1 unit. Now, I'm not personally running a Celestial myself in my Volcania deck. I probably could be. I could probably what could I run? If I was to think about it, I could probably run the guy who makes my spells cheaper, because that's a big thing for Volcania, being able to pump out that extra damage. So I'd probably run that guy if I could. But point being, I think that Volcania currently is the strongest commander to deal with the Celestials in terms of just having the sheer amount of cards that help with board control. And that's and honestly, I'm not even running all 14 of these. I'm only running probably 7 of them. I am running the low blows. I'm running the Infernos. I'm running the Decapitate, and yeah. So I might be running like 7 of those. But honestly, I haven't run into a problem where I was getting, like, let's say, beat down by the Celestial. And like the playtesters and the owners say, that yes, the Celestial is a valuable asset to the deck. They made it a point to say that it's not a automatic game win. And once I kind of accepted that and realized that they're probably right, I started to realize, like, oh yeah, I actually have a lot of things I can do to sort of deal with that and kind of like shift the game back in my favor. That being said, I did play against Satin this weekend as Volcania, and I got absolutely crushed. I got rolled pretty hard, but that just came from, oh no, what was that? That was last weekend. Last weekend I tried playing the Necromancer, and I tried doing a skeleton. I was running like a skeleton deck to see if I could like make it work. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, the hunter variation of the Vindus deck is way stronger. So if I might go back to the drawing board with that and see what I can do. But at the same time, I think I really just want to figure out a way to make my Volcania deck even stronger. And I think I'm really cooking up something right now. Now I'll talk about it because it's my favorite deck. But what I'm working on right now is a way to use army. Let me pull it up real quick. Reserve. It's a 3 cost. It's called Army Unification. And I actually have the Angel variant. So what Army Unification does is, on play it costs 3, and I attach 4 at focus to this. My Valrakian units count as both 5th Army and 12th Army units, and my phase units have burn, and my burn units have phase. So what I'm kind of cooking up here, if you'll indulge me, is I'm running the 2 cores, Volcania core and 12th Army core, just because they're really, really powerful. But then what I'm running is I'm running 4 Golem cores, which have phase as my 6. And the reason for that is, like right here it says, my burn units have phase. Okay, what I'm doing with that, or what I'm trying to do with that, is get out Army Unification as quickly as I can. And then I think it's 1, 5, and 6. And then I'm trying to phase the haste units that they gave us. Let me see if I can search for them specifically. They gave us new units called Firebrand. Here we go. They gave us new units called Firebrand units. They are 12th Army units. They have haste, burn, and trample. So right off the rip, because they have haste, they also have phase with army unification going on, right? So that being said, I can play my Firebrand Squire if I have Golem Cores out, for example, right? I can then attack with the Firebrand Squire and phase it into the energy field, which will then not trigger the burnout, which is on attack, generate a focus to this card. But then it will actually switch it with the Golem Core and be able to attack right away, and then the Golem Core will be able to ready up next turn, and then maybe I can phase it back, maybe I can't. We'll see. Like, I'm just theory crafting on ways that I can kind of get around this haste ability. That being said, we have Uma, the Firebrand Captain, and when she attacks, she returns a focus from a different Firebrand unit so that they can ready up, but she does cost 6. But here's my thing, right? Like, let's say I can play her and then I could phase her too. You know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy thing. She has haste, right? Like, I can literally play her. Like, let's say I wasn't able to phase a Firebrand Squire, but I had to just attack normally. I can then play Uma, phase her back into my energy field, maybe even get, like, let's say I phase her with a 1 cost. Now I have 5 energy again, and the Firebrand Squire or Knight or whatever that I had out from before that maybe has a focus on it, I can take that off too, and then it would get to ready up. I mean, this and this is what I was saying earlier, guys. They did such a good job with set 2 with giving prior units, power. Maybe this would also work in Athena. I don't know. But all I know is that I am having a ton of fun trying to make it work with Volcania, and I think I can. Like, I'm pretty close to figuring it out. I haven't been able to get it off yet, but that's basically my theory, is that, let's say I had to spend 6 to get out Uma, but then I swing and phase her with like a 3-cost Golem Core or something, or maybe even like a 4-cost phase unit that I have, because I have a couple. I now refund some focus. I get a Firebrand unit back ready in action. Like, I don't know. It just seems, it's the amount of stuff that we can do as this company kind of brings out more, what am I trying to say? The longer the game goes, and the more sets and interactions and keywords and stuff that they bring out, the more in-depth the deck building will become, and the more in-depth the gameplay and things like that are going to become. Oh, this tea is so good, guys. Like, honestly, sorry if you don't have one, but hopefully you do. It's amazing. Point being, Volcania is the best. Everybody should play her. Get a Volcania deck right now. What else do I have to talk about? I had one thing I wanted to discuss, which was upcoming events. They have official news. Events. We have the online league. What do we got? Upcoming events. I don't know. I thought they had a thing for upcoming events here. Card reveals, store locator, deck list. I'll chat. Official news. Oh, events. Here we go. Okay. So, 1 second. I have to cough. I am a Canadian, so it is difficult for me to go to these events, but let's just throw out some upcoming events that they have going on, just in case you guys are local to these areas. Then maybe if you have the chance to go, you can go. So, Wednesday, June 17th, they have the Origins Game Fair in the Greater Columbus Convention Center. I think it's actually that weekend. I don't think it's actually Wednesday. I think it's on the weekend. And then Saturday, July 4th, they have the Pro Play Summit in Dallas. More information to come. Not sure about that. Here's the big one. Thursday, July 30th, which is going to be that whole weekend going into August. Gen Con 2026. This is where the Soul Masters Worlds event will be. I would love to go, but I'm not sure. There might be some conflicts. I'd really love to show off my deck, or even be a judge for them if they need it, as I am a judge here locally, or even just work for them, because I worked for them for Anime North and it was a ton of fun. I love teaching new players, and I'm a really outgoing and energetic person, so I felt like I was perfect for the job for them. That being said, I'm not 100% sure if I'm able to go to the Gen Con 2026, but if I can, I will. And then hopefully I can at least, be a part of the event in some capacity, whether that's playing, volunteering, judging. This is going to be a good event. This is going to be an amazing event. If you can go to Gen Con 2026 in the Indiana Convention Center the last weekend of July, you should. And then last but not least, currently we have Saturday, September 26th, Pro Play Summit in Orlando. More information coming soon. I know nothing about Florida. I've only ever been to Florida one time, but I do see Florida Man in the news all the time. So that's what's coming up for the games soon. And if you can go to Gen Con and compete in the Worlds event, that would be great. I'm definitely going to get whoever wins this event, they are definitely coming on the podcast. Okay, that's a requirement. If you win the event, you have to come on the podcast and talk about your experience. So that's going to be really fun. Hopefully I can go, but if I can't and you go, have a great time and win. So with that being said, I think that's everything I have for this week. I want to thank you guys for listening, and hopefully next week we will for sure have a segment. It won't be the way I'm doing it like this, where I'm just kind of talking to you guys and rambling on the whole time. It will be me doing that, but then it will be a segment separately that I'm going to record with the artist, and then I'm gonna throw it in there. So look forward to that. Hopefully I have some good questions for them, and they're definitely going to have good answers because they're really talented. So again, thank you so much for listening if you're listening. Thank you so much for watching if you're watching. And I hope you guys have a great week. And, if you want to talk about anything, please comment, like if you want, subscribe even. I don't know. Would love it. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you next week. And have a great night.